Okay, I've got vocal and we're ready to go. I had this set up for 6 o'clock. I'm sure there'll be somebody or some bodies who will be um, coming in. We're in week 11, and I wanted to talk about that and just keep us on track logistically in terms of what's going on. Then I want to talk about the CAP sim, and this is, of course, week 11, and the you have three assignments that are due. You have a real-time case, pardon me, that is to select one of those from the Parnell text and to develop a self-developed quiz. Okay, so there are three real-time classes there that were due. Real-time cases, you could choose one of those three and develop a self-developed quiz. Then you had two exams. You had an exam over Davenport chapters 4 through 6, and you had an exam over Parnell. Now, let's look ahead, and we'll take a look at those of you coming. If any of you should come in, I'm intending to have nobody show up, at least online. And again, now, if you should come in, backtrack to the beginning, okay? Because I'm starting this. This is it's about 5:37. I intend to stay until about 7, maybe o'clock, 7:30. It seems to kind of not die out there, but. And I am checking your work. I'm checking logins over at CapSim, and I am seeing the logins. I'm checking logins here too. So you guys are all working really hard, and I appreciate it very much. Next week, you have an exam over Parnell, chapter 4, and then you have a self-developed quiz, and you can select one of those readings, either the one on page 73 or the one on page 108, to do a self-developed quiz. And then you have a chapter, and then you have an exam on Parnell chapter 5. So you can see kind of how we're doing this week by week. Same kind of theme follows up then on the 20th, Monday, the 20th of November, and that's Davenport exam number 3. Then you've got a real-time case. So there's 4, 5, 6, or 7. Select one of those and develop a quiz. Okay? So that's what's going on the 20th. Then we move into the 27th, and you've got another self-developed quiz from either the reading on page 176 or the reading on page 208. That's up to you. Then you have an exam on Parnell, exam 6 and exam 7 on Parnell. Then we move into week 15, which is the week 15, which is the 4th of December. And I have a screencast there for you about the peer evaluation and the board report. And then I have a place for you. Then I have instructions about the peer evaluations. And then then I have a place for you to upload the board report. That should only be uploaded by the team CEO. Okay. Now, all right. And then here are the final exam schedules. Okay. Now, note that you've got this final exam, part 1, and you need to check this to make sure. Part 1 is only 2 hours. Okay, the final exam period is only 2 hours. So as I warn you here, you really do need to make sure that you budget your time effectively. So it's in your best interest, actually, to take these prior to that 2 hour, 2 hours. Here's final exam part 2. Okay. And then final exam part 3, which is over the Nate Silver text. Now I want to talk about the 4th of December, okay? Monday, December the 4th. I want to talk with you specifically about that. The board report should be uploaded, okay? But that evening, I want you here, okay? So this, and I'll be sending you an email saying, hey, plan on being here December 4th, all right? And I'm going to say this every single week, okay? And again, I'll need your peer reviews, okay? And this is a place for you to upload the board report, but I expect for you guys to come in, do a presentation, and we'll talk about how you did on the CAPSIM, okay? So I'll be sending you an email to that effect. All right, and the board report again, here's a place for you to upload it, okay? And only the CEO should upload it. Now, again, I want the whole team here on the 4th of December to do a presentation, okay? And I've got a screencast about the peer evaluation and the board report, okay, so you know what's going on. So that's it for right now. And what I'm going to do is take some time. In fact, I think I'm going to send everybody an email right now while I'm thinking of it. And as you can see, I'm putting together a short little message I'll post, as well as send this. I'll post the announcement right now so you could see. I'll go back over here and I'll check my outbox. And there it is. Okay, so that's tonight. We are all together. And I'll go back here. And I want to make sure I'm going to put an announcement up here right now. Okay, there I posted the announcement. So I've posted that announcement. Physical attendance is required. And I'm going to go back down here to the modules. Okay. And you'll see I'm going to post it also over here. And in fact, I think all I'll do is I'll just simply, I'll edit that. That way you can sell. And I'll let the spell checker work for me a little bit. Okay. As you can see, I've just updated that. Week 15, 12/4/17, the board report physical attendance is required, okay? So we'll be a class here. Now, finals week. Here's my final exam schedule, okay? And I want you to see this. Per the university, any night class meets on the night its final night is on its regular scheduled class. We're an evening class, so our final exam period will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Monday, December 11th. Okay, Monday, December 11th. So on the 4th, we'll have the board reports and the peer evaluations. I've posted an announcement about that. I have a screencast about it. I've put it on the module. I've sent you an email. Then, of course, then on Monday night, the 11th, that's finals night. Now, you can, if you're smart, you'll do those quizzes. You have 2 hours to do them all. And I'll say this, I wouldn't put myself in a pressure cooker. You can do them one at a time prior to finals session. So that's up to you, okay? That's what's going on. And, so far I haven't had anybody pop by, but I wanted to go by and make sure that we were all clear about what's going on, okay? Now, you have 2 hours to do these. I would budget my time accordingly, all right? All right, I see somebody. Jessica, how are you this evening? Let me see if I can unmute you. Whoops. Okay. Jessica, have you got a, do you have a microphone? And hello? You got a microphone there? If not, you can, if you have a question, you can shoot me a chat. That might be better. Okay. So I'm here. Do you have a question?
Oh, hey.
Kind of, you're not coming through very well. You'll need to turn up your mic. Let me turn mine up too. My sound up. Repeat it if you would, please. And if that's not working, you should have a chat function there so you can send me a chat message if you want to ask a question. Okay. Well, while you're thinking that or working on, oh, okay, here we go. A chat question. That's the board report, and what you'll need to do, the board report is, first of all, I've provided you guys an example of a board report, okay? And let me just address that real quickly, okay? Because what is the board report? All right. I'm going to come over here to the welcome and the course resources, and this is a report. Here's an example of a team and their board report. Okay. Now we talked about this, and it's been a while, but this is a report, and you can use this as an example. Okay. Now, in addition, I'm going to go out to the supplemental website, and I have another one out there. Find that the supplemental website just a second. What will be a quicker route will be for me to show you in the syllabus. All right. And I talk about the board report. Okay. Here's the presentation. Your team will do a presentation. Okay. Now, as I said, business casual is preferred but not required. So don't run around in a monkey suit all day or in heels or anything like that. That's crazy. It's 6 o'clock at night. Your presentation include a PowerPoint slideshow and handouts. Okay. And I give you full credit. Okay. This is what you have to do. All right. And I have an example there for you. I just showed you for a board report. Okay. And the board report is due the 4th of December. And then of course, finals are the 11th. Now let me go back here for just a second. And I'm going to see if I had, look here for just a second. Here's the supplemental website. And I should have another example for you over there. And we talked about this, that everybody should have been working on these at one point or the other. Let's see here. Here's one from a group Andrews from spring 2011. This is over in the supplemental website. You can see what they did. Now let me say this. On either one of these, okay, you will save yourself a lot of time and trouble if, as you recount your performance, for example, you use a lot of print screens of data and of tables. CapSim gives you all that visual feedback, charts and all that. So I would really focus on that as opposed to trying to write a really lengthy narrative. And bear in mind that I want you to do a PowerPoint or slideshow for me. So you'll need to look at these two examples, okay, and put that together. That's why I've given you guys, okay, the evenings to work on the CAP sim, and you should you should be starting right. You should really be starting on your board report in earnest. Now, I'm going to go back here for just a second, okay, and I'm going to find the CAP sim schedule for us. And there's some CAP sim help. There's some of the teams. Let me see here. I'll just go over. I'll just go to the CAP sim website, and that's what I intended to do anyway. And I see Jessica here, and I see Mackenzie. Glad to see you here as well. And I'm going to go over to the CAP. Let me go to CAP sim. And you'll want to look at the front end of this video, okay, tonight. You'll want to go on the, you'll want to look at the front end because it'll talk about the schedule and what's going on and where we are with things. So you'll want to look at that. I started about, so you'll scroll it back. I started about 5:30. I intended to go till about 7:30. That seems to be when I don't have anybody around. Okay, let me get this in here for a sec. And I was going to come over here anyway, and we'll talk about the schedule of the rounds. Okay, and we've already done the practice rounds, and so now we're in the competition round. Okay, now this morning at 5 o'clock, competition round 4 ended. It ended. Competition round number 5 started, and it will end on the 13th. Okay. Competition round 5 will end on the 20th, and round and 6. So you'll have those. So you'll have 5 competition rounds, and that ends the 20th. So your competition rounds were the 16th to the 23rd, then the 23rd to the 30th, then the 30th to the 6th, okay, and then the 6th to the 13th, and then the 13th to the 20th. So the 20th is when it ends, okay, and it will be processed at 5 o'clock in the morning on the 20th, which is 2 weeks from today. That gives you the 27th, and I can look right here on the calendar right now and show everybody. That gives you the 27th, the 4th, okay? Those 2 weeks to work on the board reports. Now, I would suggest that your teams take a look at those board reports over there, those examples, and be working on them, okay, as well as, you know, doing your work on the CAP sim. And, you know, I talked about the board report, showed you, you know, went through all of this when it was due. And as I said before, save yourself a lot of time and energy by using a lot of screen prints of the charts, the data, and so forth that are provided there in CAP sim. Don't try to sit down and write me a long, big narrative, okay? So that's the best advice that I know to give you. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the industry results, and pardon me, industry scoring. And we'll look at this for just a moment. And Andrews did a very, very well, okay? 75th percentile. Good jobs, and they're at 66. I think we had one team who had some issues with uploads. I'm not sure, but I know for sure, Andrews, you're doing very, very well now. The other teams, you've got some ground to make up, and you've got some work ahead of you. So, that's one of the things about this course that's a challenge, is just keeping yourself focused and going and working on that on the CAPSIM. Now, again, the board reports, you should take a look at those, and you guys should divvy that work up between yourselves, and then the final product is uploaded by your CEO. And that assignment's been there the whole semester, and we talked about this, and I went through it really at the start of the course. And one of the reasons I've not held class, I've said, okay, you're on your own, is to give you the time, to work on the CAPSIM and start organizing your board reports. In fact, I mentioned that early on. I said, start working on them from the beginning, so that you're just plugging in the data as you go along. Okay. So I think I answered one of those questions. Anybody? Let me see who else I've got here. Mackenzie, do you have any questions? I'll unmute you if you have any. If you have a microphone, I need you to speak into it. No, okay. And if it's easier, you could try the chat function. Okay. I'll unmute everybody. And any questions? Okay. Well, I'll just continue on then. At this point, I think all of you know how to process. We've talked about debriefing and what to be doing with it. So, I would anticipate that you're able to do that. Now, I've got some of you online here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over to Bailey, over to the lab, and see if there's anybody over there. Okay, so just hang on here for about 4 or 5 minutes, and I will be right back. I'm going to check over to see if I've got anybody in the lab, if they've got any questions. Okay, I didn't have anybody over in the lab, so I guess it's just the three of us on here. Like I said, I'm running it like a virtual office hours. So if you have a question, please, if your mic's not working or whatever, then send it to me via chat, and I can try to answer it. That sometimes seems to work best for people if they feel reticent about using their microphone or whatever. But this is where we're at this point, and my intention is just basically just to be here. And if people have questions, I'll try to answer and help them. But you will want to, once I save this and stop it and save it and then post it, you will definitely want to take a look at the very first, because I'll walk you through all the end of course logistics, what's going on and all that business. So I'm really not going to be doing any lecturing. I'm just kind of in a holding pattern here, waiting for people who may have some questions. Okay, I've had some folks apparently have dropped off. They have their questions answered or not. Again, I would remind you to, when you look at this video, as I've told them, you want to go back at the start and take a look at all of this. I'm surprised that this seems to be a surprise that there's a board report. Given that I'm dealing with seniors, I went over all of this that's been sitting there. It's been posted for a couple of months, and I've said each week, you're working on your board reports, you're working on CAPSIM, you have these assignments, and apparently folks have chosen not to take a look or whatever. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but got some work to do, and I'll be here. It's 6:09. And I've been on board since about 5:30 today. I will be here till about 7:30, and then I'll wrap it up. Okay, and I will probably occasionally pause the share so I can get something done or check my mail or something like that. So if I do pause it, I'll let you know. And of course, you can always take it from there. I do want to say this. Andrews did a fantastic job this week. Good job. Pick up the pace, folks. I will say this, I had an email today from a team that said that they had uploaded the wrong data, asked me if I could fix it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. And as we began the CAP sim and went through it, I warned everybody right off the bat about you make sure how you upload your work and get it, and be careful about making sure that when you submit your final decisions, that's what you intended to do. And I'm very sorry when that happens. It happens sometimes, but there's really nothing I can do. I can't go back and fix your round and run it over. As I said, this simulation is very much like real life. You have to multitask. You have to think ahead. If you mess up, you mess up. And I'm very sorry for the team that did. Al, I'm going to put myself on mute here. All right, I'm going to turn the mute back off, and so you can hear me. I'm going to log into Teams, and I'm looking at Andrews and see what's going on with them. Okay. So I see some work going on there with that group. That's good. Now I'll go back over to Baldwin. Let's see what we got going on over there with Baldwin. And I'll log in to Baldwin. Now, let me note something. And so this is for everybody. As you can see, I'm going in to group. Folks, don't forget that there's a participation, there's a peer review, but you should also note, and I'm hope that some of you see this video, because I'm visiting every team tonight to look at logins. And if it's been a while since you've logged in, you can count on losing a significant number of points no matter how well your group does. Okay? So if you've been slacking and not working, you've got a problem. And I can tell from these logs who's here and who's not. So I'm not picking on any individuals. I'm not picking on any groups. I'm going in, but I want you to know I have the ability to come in and see, who's been naughty and who's been nice. Now, I'm going to return to the professor course now. Okay. And I'm going to log into a team, and I can log into another team. And here's Chester. Okay. And this tells me the activity that's going on. Now, my calendar says tonight is the 6th of November. So I can see, okay? And I do check to see. Okay, and then I'll return over here and I'll log into a team. And here's Digby, our last team. Okay. So and I'll return over here to the professor course, and I'm going to log out now out of here simply because I don't have any activity in here, and there just is no sense in me being over here. So I'm going to log out of here. Now I'm going back over here to Canvas, and here we are at week 11, and I've covered everything that's going on. And to give everybody a heads up. So you'll want to, you'll obviously want to scroll to the beginning, which is about 5:30 or so. I also wanted to let all of you know, the Jupiter is the official grade book for your course. We're having problems with Canvas, with attendance showing up, with points and percentages and all this weirdness. And all I can say is I have recorded also. I record your grades also over at Jupiter, and Jupiter's the official grade book. Now, if you see something in Canvas that indicates an error or something like that on my part, I'm happy to look at it and then go over and correct it in Jupiter. But if you're at the point now where you're kind of concerned about your grade or your points, Jupiter is the official grade book. In fact, I think I'm going to send out an email to everybody to that effect. And I think I probably ought to do it right now since I'm here, and I'll go ahead and send that out to everybody. So I'm going to start with 1123 business problem analysis. I guess that's not the right one. This is a strange little system Canvas can be, and frankly, I'll get a little worn out dealing with it. We end up with all these course shells, and it's hard to figure out which one's which. Theirs is, okay. And I get some emails. And okay. And as I mentioned, it's been kept at least for this semester, which is fall 2017. And I'll throw this over here since I'm going to be repeating it. I'll put it into a pad. And I'll get rid of all this. I've already posted that stuff. That way I can send the message out to all. I still have some students who are sending me emails. And I understand that. So I'm reminding you, Jupiter Grades is the official grade book for your course. Okay, that's the ISS 1120 business problem analysis. Now we'll head on over to business data administration. And second one, no. Let's try the third one. And that's it. Okay. Official course grade book. Isn't this fun to watch me get to do this? But I'm here waiting for questions if anyone shows up. So I'm sending this out to everybody in 4403. And I forgot I need to write a message to 3503. Okay. I understand you guys want everything in one place. I'm with you. But I got to have something I can work with. And so do you. And the major issue with Canvas has been the attendance function. So we'll come down here to management science. Let's see if that's it. Okay. Now the third one, see if that's it. That is. And I think that'll pretty much do it because I've sent out to business policy. And I'll send this out to all of you. Up. That way you know what's going on. This has been a nice evening, nice way to spend my evening. I know you're working, so am I, as you can see. All right, so I'll check my sent. Let's see what we got. All righty. 4903 got a message. 3603 got a message. 3503 got a message. 4403 and 1123. Very good. Well, back to the inbox here. Okay. Back here real quickly. And I'll go back to 4903. Show. I'm back here waiting. And as I said, I'll be here till about 7 or 7:30. It's 6:35. I've been here since about 5:30. So I've been online for about an hour. I try to stay on an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, somewhere thereabouts. And of course, obviously I'm available, during my office hours. I've not posted any virtual office hours. I've had some attendees, but not many. And all I can say is, folks, when I get an email, it says you didn't hear, you can't find me or what. I'm sorry. I enter my emails within hours, usually within minutes. But nonetheless, we're good to go. So we're here. I'm going to mute this for just a few minutes. I'm still here, and should you, well, let me call it my little virtual office hours thing. Let me take this for a minute. I'll put this over here in my, move this for just a smidgen. Want those up there, but I'll take this, my Zoom recordings. Move to Zoom recordings. Move to Zoom recordings. Okay. Now, let's see here. I want to put up my little message as here we go. Now I'm going to put this up here, and I'm going to mute. Now I will be muting the audio portion of this, and then I'm going to pause it and pause the recording because I have a couple of things I need to do here. Hear me. Okay, I'm going to pause the share for a minute and the recording. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I paused the sharing and paused the recording. I'm back. I had to check a couple of things. So I'd be here at least till 7 o'clock, maybe through to 7:30. Had a few people, 2 or 3 folks pop in tonight, which is good. I anticipate more of you doing so. Now I'm going to pause the. I'm going to mute the sound as I'm here waiting, and I'll put up my office hours thing. Okay, I can put down the virtual office hours and you can, of course, hear me again. And we're still recording and still sharing. I'm going to stop the share again and stop recording again. And I need to go over and check another thing. So I'm going to mute and then stop the share and stop the record. I'm back temporarily. All right, I want to pause the recording. Okay, I resumed the sharing and the recording, and I'm back with vocal. It's close to 7 o'clock. I've been on here since about 5:30. I've had a couple of groups stop by, or group CEOs, I guess, or group representatives stop by. One question, and I guess I would assume everybody's gotten all the emails that I sent and clarification on what we've got going on. So you've got some work ahead of you and some examples, and I'll be looking forward to that. So we're rolling along, and again, congratulations to Andrews, who did very, very well, and that score 75% was quite good. I'm very proud of you. Good work. And I probably will try. I'm probably gonna. We'll see how it goes to the end of the semester. I may try to put a blurb about that in our day. I usually do if the group does very well. We'll just see how everybody ends up. But I know you're all working pretty hard, doing your best, and I understand and appreciate that very much. So I'm going to go mute here, and I'll put my little sign back. I guess while I'm waiting, let's kind of do something cool. I think we'll go out and let's go to YouTube. And since we're at the, we'll do the search for the ESPN college football. Theme. Let's here it is. And prepared to be amazed. Oh, I think I'll go to full screen. I don't know about you, but that was pretty exciting. We'll go back over here now. All I can say is that was pretty cool, wasn't it? I love that theme. The whole thing is, of course, if you have ESPN Game Day or you have ESPN Score, there's a channel on cable that cuts in from 3 p.m. Eastern until 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Eastern. They cut into games and so forth. So how could you live without hearing that? Isn't that a compelling theme? That would show you how desperate I am for something to do. I'm waiting for you yahoos to start asking me some questions. But there's nobody across the hallway. And over in the lab, nobody there. The lab is empty. And I'm here waiting for anybody who may come by. It is now 7:07 and I intend to leave. I intend to shut this off at 7:30. So I'm going to put it back on the mute. I don't know about you, but that had to be one of the most compelling. I just love that theme song. Isn't that fabulous? Has nothing to do with, what can I say? Need to go over and check on something here. Might as well do it. I think it's over in data admin. Maybe it's in MIS. I think it's MIS. And I'll just go over there and check it real quickly today. Since I'm here, I'm waiting for anybody who may stop by. You can see some of the exciting stuff that we're covering in management information systems. You gotta love it. And let's see here. Okay, so we've got the week of, okay, MIS will be working. Maybe it's management science. Let me check them out first. Let's see what's going on with them. It may be that, it may be a management science. As I said, I'm still here. And I can work while I'm doing that as long as I don't reveal any personal data. We're good to go. Let's see, we have you think you have a lot to do? We do in all my courses. Lots of work. And there's some interesting stuff coming up here. And you're going to learn a little bit about SAS. You can see. SAS Visual Analytics, SAP, SAP Business. So we're going to be doing some work here. Answered that question that I had in my mind. Well, I'm back to 4903, still here. And I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed that 4-minute video of the compelling theme from ESPN College Football Playoff. It's compelling. It's just, it just makes you get excited and ready for those playoffs that are coming. Who is in? That's the big question. Who is in? Of course, you may not be a football fan. So if you're not a college football fan, well, you may not be an American. Shame on you. I'm teasing. Just kidding. I'm killing some time as I wait for you guys, any of you, to stop by with a question. Doing my virtual office hours. As I said, I'll be here till 7:30. I've been here an hour and a half. I actually have been here since 5:30 today. So it will be a 2-hour sojourn and waiting for, and I think I had 2 or 3 of you stop by, which is fine, but just to make sure that we're on track. And of course, how did you live without hearing that compelling theme? It's magnificent, isn't it? So we got a lot going on, and I've kept bopping up here, but stuff to do. I'm teaching to an audience of one. What can I say? Yo. Did you hear my fabulous singing voice? Yes. That wasn't me. That was someone else. Okay, it's about 7:15, and I'm not sure that another 15 minutes will make much difference. I do have email, which I answer virtually 24 hours a day. I've been on here since 5:30. I've had a couple of people stop by, and it appears that I've got all of you are, or most of all of you are working on the CapSim right now. This is because I went over and checked in to see what was going on. So it looks like you are. I'm going to wrap this up, record this, and post it. So you've got it. And I'll be here, of course, next week and every week. But look forward to seeing your work on the simulation. Again, congratulations to Andrew's team. You did very, very well. Good job. I'm going to stop the share and then stop the recording and get this puppy rolling.